You never give a useful piece of advice to a troll, because he'll come in next recording and he'll have like 4 massive wrist chains and 3 lanyards.
Yeah,
and
it'll be all
bangles.
all the gold jewelry, and then you'll call me racist for asking you to take it off.
And he'll be shirtless.
Yeah. Why are you naked?
Again.
With that intonation. Like.
What does it mean to have a human in the loop?
Human in the loop. Human in the loop. What in the world is a human in the loop? Human in the loop.
AI in the loop. Humans in charge.
Welcome to Human in the Loop.
Malindi was the CEO of Outward Bound for almost 6 years, leading them to new heights of youth engagement. And also, mostly we talked last time about Before 16, which is a board you're still on. Mm-hmm. But now she's the VP of Customer for Halter. And we love Halter.
Yeah.
We love the darling of the New Zealand Agritech world, and we've had the pleasure of speaking to Brad Terpstra on the podcast before, who was exceptionally smart and interesting. Now we're going to hear...
Pressure.
No pressure. But now you're in the world.
Yeah. It's a bit of a switch.
It's
right? Like the anti-tech to the darling of the tech industry.
But you still have that connection to like land and physicality.
This is true.
This is what you can tell yourself. I spent a day on a farm.
Most cows are under 16.
God damn, he's got us again.
You are on fire today.
and forever they will be.
Statistically, yes, they are.
While there are steak
Wow.
restaurants,
16.
they
Wow.
will remain under
That was
16.
actually really funny.
Oh, that's gotta go on the Hamish's greatest hits reel.
But you're only a few months in. So how's it going?
It's great. I'm just under 4 months in. So I still very much feel like I'm in the honeymoon phase and learning so much.
You've clearly made it past probation, so
I've made it past probation. Yeah.
She's a keeper.
It's really funny because we had a really big party, I think on my 3-month anniversary. And it was like,
Was it for you?
No, well, I think so. But it was like, Halter does parties really well. And I was like, I've just got to make it to midnight, and then I'm like past my probation. I've just got to behave until midnight. And then we're in. It's a pretty exciting mission to be part of. I definitely had a whole lot of grief leaving Outward Bound, I think, but you never really leave Outward Bound. You kind of stay connected forever. So,
I mean, when you've gone from a place which has such deep purpose and you're so committed to it, there must be something in Halter's purpose that attracts you, right? Like you feel like you're part of something really, really special. So what was it that kind of lured you over?
Pulled me in. For me, it's about farmers and now ranchers. I didn't know any ranchers when I started, but I've actually been able to go over to the US and like get on a ranch, a couple of ranchers and hang out with ranchers. So they are also sort of like in this realm of people that I'm in awe of, which is where farmers are for me. I think that we need them like to eat and to survive as a species and to produce our food. And they've probably been quite pilloried, I think, over the last like couple of decades by society. And we also need the industry to transform. So like it's kind of the mission of Halter, which is to make the world's farms more productive and sustainable. It's like actually just everybody's mission. Like it's super important. What's really cool about it, the thing that kind of hooked me in was it's got these like levels of impact. So at an individual level, at a farm or ranch level, it's making a massive impact on the farmer, on the ranch, on their family, their life, their productivity. And that's pretty cool. It's genuinely life-changing. And then at a community or system level or country level, for New Zealand, you think agriculture is our biggest industry. We have a productivity issue in New Zealand. If we can make agriculture more productive, like we shift the dial for the country. And I'm a pretty proud Kiwi. So that feels really cool. And then to be part of like shifting a global industry that's essential. So on that like really big macro scale, felt like a systems change piece that was pretty hard to look away from once I had started looking over the virtual fence at Halter.
The virtual fence. Is that like vernacular that you guys absorb?
Just thought of it on the spot.
It's really good. See that one into the Halter
I'm sure I'm not the first person, right? So definitely, Outward Bound was like a dream job, and this was definitely probably one of the only, I think it's the only company I would have left Outward Bound for.
Sorry, Dano.
I'm used to rejection.
I've told you that I am happy to come to Rush when I get to be your boss.
You know the funniest part of that statement is you think I'm in charge. Heather. Joe. I'm just allowed to play with stuff. Like that's how
They let you out.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Yeah. They just give me like a cat. They roll out a shiny toy if they want me to stay away from a
and
certain
roll it
thing.
over into the corner to distract
it's like,
you.
quick, there's a broken down BMW. You can I don't think many people would know the story of Halter. It's kind of one of those funny, what do they say? It's like an overnight success every 10 years or something like that. Like it takes 10 years to make an overnight success. That's the phrase. And I think Halter is actually true to that, right? Like there was when it started, like Craig's story, all of that stuff is pretty fascinating. So maybe for the audience, tell a bit of that.
Yeah, or even like most of our audience is going to be relatively tech connected.
Yeah.
But what a Halter do. Why did I mention cows? That was a weird non sequitur.
Not for you, mate.
We should just leave them guessing.
Yeah. I mean, we don't introduce ourselves. Let's not introduce it. Yeah.
So our customers are farmers and ranchers. We started in New Zealand. Craig, our founder, grew up on a dairy farm. He was a rocket lab engineer. And he had this idea that he wanted to test whether it worked or not, that you could train cows using cues. And if you could solve that problem, if you could prove that you could train the cows, then you could use technology to guide them, fence them, herd them, etc. So that was kind of the problem to solve, was like how do we train these cows, and can we do this in a way that then removes labor and helps farmers grow more grass, I guess, essentially. And yeah, like you said, it's like I think that was about 9 years ago. I'm going to do my best at the Halter story here. Like, granted, I am not.
You're past probation. It's fine.
I'm not an OG. But it's one of the things that pulled me in. So yeah, it's been 9 years, and I think that piece around the overnight success, and the reason that a lot of people now would know of Halter, is that it has felt like in the last couple of years there's been some pretty significant funding rounds, some record-breaking funding rounds. We've cracked into the US market. We are looking at more global expansion. We've got collars on 1 million cows globally.
You're one of those counters like McDonald's.
Actually, we do. Cow 1 million was in the last couple of months, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so what the product does today, from that kind of like early idea, is the cows wear a collar around their neck, kind of like you would, you think of the old Swiss cows with their cowbells, that that's not a new concept. And it's solar powered, and it uses sound and vibration cues to train the cows which way to move. So they would move away from a virtual fence. You can virtually fence and strip graze a paddock, which means that you can make it much more productive. And it also can train them to walk themselves to the milking shed, for example, which is just like pretty revolutionary. The first time you see it, it's like, oh my gosh, they're actually doing it. It's like I was in the car just now when I was in your fancy car looking at all of the like screens. It's like, oh my gosh, look at what's happening. And especially when you come from Outward Bound like me, which is like the anti-tech, you're like, wow. And then the other,
remote control cows. Yeah. The real philosophical question was, were cows remote controlled in the beginning?
I mean, we don't think of them as remote controlled, and I'll come to that in a second. I think there's actually a lot of agency in the system for cows. It's actually something that makes cows feel calmer and like they have more agency and more decision making in the system. So we see that in a bunch of ways, in their behavior, the way they react to humans once they've been with Halter for a while, and cortisol in their milk and things like that. But just the other thing that the product does is kind of like a Garmin watch or an Oura ring does in terms of like heat and health kind of data. We also can like tap into a bunch of the data about the cow or the cattle beast, which helps you do things like understand mating and reproductive quality, etc. So it has a whole lot of benefits today. Yeah.
So you'd say great career move.
Cow 1 in 1 million. There's so many. Yeah.
Don't you call the main algorithm something?
The cowgorithm.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't have a field day with puns.
When are we going to get to see the cows do the outward bound obstacle course, though?
Well, it's up to them. They have agency in the system, so we could. You
You have to give them something interesting enough to learn how to balance on one of those little rope bridges.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty amazing cows. Cows, and I mean, cows are obviously the female version of the cattle beast. We also have collars on younger bulls and steers as well. But we like humans and cattle have had this partnership for like 10 millennia. Like it's a long-standing relationship. So this is just the sort of next iteration of how we work together. Yeah.
You mentioned that Halter have had some big raises, and so I'm interested, how do you feel going from effectively a charitable entity where money is of great concern and you're face to face with a lot of socioeconomic hardship on a daily basis, and you fight that uphill battle. Now you're in this arguably quite
flush,
well funded.
Yeah. How does that change, if it does at all, how you approach, how you do your job, how you hire people, how you sell in, like even just, how you worry about what the next thing you have to do is and where it's being funded from?
Are you calling me a sellout?
Not at all. No.
We're saying, how does it feel to sell out?
No, because also, I mean, you put so many years into Outward Bound, but it takes up a huge amount of your mental energy, right?
Yeah.
Is it?
It's like your pound of flesh kind of thing.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't change how I operate one iota. I think there's more in common between a charity and a startup that is trying to build something generational than you would think at first glance.
Yeah.
I mean, Outward Bound is a generational company as well. So it's been around for 62 years and it will exist forever. Like it needs to exist forever. It's kind of the strategy there is perpetuity. And so you're kind of thinking about that, building something generational and high performance is like an essential part of that. And then there's a hustle piece. So we actually redid our operating principles at Outward Bound just before I left. And one of the ones that we spent a long time talking about was hustle for good, because that's like inherent in a charity. It's like you actually have to just like, you're constantly hustling, you're constantly having to wear multiple hats. You have to kind of put every dollar to maximum value that you can. And if you don't, you like learn fast and move on fast. Like it's pretty quick. And so I think there is a surprising amount of overlap between kind of how you the mental model for both. Yeah.
Do you actually think it ends up making you a better leader to do your time in such an organisation?
Kind of remains to be seen, but I would hope so. I mean, I'm like going through a hiring streak at the moment. Like I've got to build. Say it down the barrel. Yeah. If you. Yes, it does make me an amazing leader. Come on.
And humble.
I think it remains to be seen because it is what we will do is unlike anything I've done and most of the team have done, the rate at which we're growing. So we've got, like I said, we sort of had our collar on a millionth cow in the last couple of months. We'll be at 2 million cows by November. So it took us 8 or 9 years to get there and we'll double that in the next few months. And so you can also imagine the growth that is going on in the people as well. So we've got, we're probably going to double the size of the organization this year. And big chunk of that is my team. Chunk of it is opening up into new markets. I'm currently hiring in Argentina, as well as the US and New Zealand. And we've got this incredibly high bar for talent, and this challenge of like not dropping that bar while trying to hire like that is really interesting. So it's a different leadership challenge to kind of build culture when you're like growing that fast. Yeah.
Have you found the US culture to be difficult to get to grips with, like from a people point of view? Because certainly from a sales point of view, like I've not directly sold into the US before, but we've done consulting, like what does it take to sell into the US? And a lot of it is around like the positioning of the language. Like, Kiwi culture is pretty laid back. If you get asked, is it good? You'll say, oh yeah, it's not bad. It solves the problem, right? But in the US, they'd hear that as it's terrible because, they've got like more of a sales built into their culture where everything's great, right? Like, how's your product? It's amazing. It's the best thing ever. If you don't, that's kind of the baseline. That's like where they start off from. So like in terms of the other parts of running a business, is there a similar sort of culture?
I think, there's a couple of things that are working well for us. One is that we've transplanted. That sounds terrible. We've got a lot of the Halter crew who have been part of the journey so far have gone up to the US as part of that early team to transplant culture, and I think that's been pretty impactful. So Craig, our CEO, is over there and, is doing a stint there to kind of build the team and be on the ground there. And there's a number of others who've been like super influential in that. And I think I would actually describe Halter as closer to what you would see in an American company from my experience. I don't know if others would agree with that compared with other Kiwi companies. So I think the difference is less probably than your kind of traditional New Zealand company or the ones I've worked in and what I've seen of other US companies. And the best case scenario is that we actually get to kind of like get the best of both. And it's really interesting to think that our HQ is in Auckland. And so as we grow and become global, we'll kind of keep this like our research is in New Zealand and our HQ is in New Zealand. That'll be interesting, right? Around like how do you actually anchor this like really cool global company in Auckland? I think where it goes badly is you end up with multiple cultures. You end up with two cultures and silos, and we're working very, very hard and very intentionally not to do that. The party I was just referring to, we brought everybody here, which is like this huge commitment to do it. But actually what it means, like you do that for a couple of days, you bring everybody together at this crucial point on the journey. And it does amazing things for being able to work pretty well together.
Yeah. You made a comment before about high performance, and then I kind of tracked back to your LinkedIn post about hiring, and you mentioned, we've got all of these different people, sports people and so on, and, you've been a professional sports person. Brad, who was on the podcast, was in, Team America. Is that kind of part of the culture thing, is actually being in high-performing sports is kind of a bar above, especially even in a New Zealand culture, because I know what you're saying, Hamish, like, New Zealand can be pretty laid back, but at the high performance sports level, it isn't so. And is that the kind of separation you kind of mean? Like, there are these high performing people who don't just get away with YNR?
Just to, like, that's not quite the difference. It's more like you can be high performing and quiet about it, or you can be high performing and loud about it. And New Zealanders tend to be quiet.
Arguably, not that if you're a high-performing salesperson, you can't be quiet about it.
Yeah.
I disagree with that, actually. Yeah, there are. I don't know. It's like your outward appearance is not necessarily how you are inwardly, right? Yeah. Like Usain Bolt, he before breaking the 100-meter sprint, while he looked back and slowed down, he had some chicken nuggets, a can of Coke, and a nap.
Is that true? Is that a true story?
There's an interview floating around. Well, what did you do to prep? And he's like, I had some nuggets, had a can of Coke, slept for 30 minutes, and then I obliterated the entire field.
But how he showed up was with exceptional confidence.
Yeah, but this is also a guy who's not allowed to buy another BMW because he's crashed 4 and BMW's scared he's going to kill himself. So they made him do like driver training. So he's definitely a character. Like he wasn't drunk or anything. Well, it's just like he's a high performer, but like not in every aspect, right?
Yeah.
Specific.
Like, you can't drive a car for shit.
I see what you're saying. Could you transplant high performance sports culture, high performance team culture?
Yeah. I mean, I like probably am biased, but I think there's a lot. If I get a CV and somebody has been a high performance athlete, I'm really interested. It depends on a lot of other factors, but it's a pretty interesting thing to have because you do have to have dug in, worked pretty hard, had way more failure than you would have had success, and like learned to deal with that and take feedback really well. So there's a whole lot of crossovers that I think would be like anyone looking at that on a CV, like if you've done an outward bound course, actually, like this stuff is like really interesting. And so I do think we have a bit of an over-index probably to people who have a sporting background. It's actually really cool. When I was racing bikes in the US, my team was Jazz Apple. This is a very long time ago, 20 plus years ago. And Alison Shanks, who was in my team, she raced with me. She was an Olympian.
Yeah.
She's also at Halter. So we've just like,
see,
come back.
confirmation bias.
That's like kind of funny. We were traveling around the States together as, in our early 20s and in Lycra racing bikes, and then we're finding ourselves in our
Like wearing bikes, riding horses now.
I mean, no, but standing in a paddock together, doing this different journey. So I think that people are coming to Halter from all sorts of backgrounds. I think that's very, very important as we become more AI first, that we have a really deliberate strategy around bringing in humans from all walks of life. Which is what we're trying to do in our team, which is customer facing, right? We're facing the humans. Farming is still, ranching farming is still a very human centered industry and very face to face, very much authentic, real people. It's not really a B2B industry. It's B2F, B2Farm. It's like a totally different category.
So have you spent time on a farm?
I am on farm an average of once a week at the moment. I'm working really hard to keep that up for as long as I can. I won't be able to do it forever. And sometimes that's meant that I've spent 3 days in a week on a farm or I don't get out, but it's an average of once a week at the moment. And it's so special. I think if you think of New Zealand farmers, for example, they really care about their animals. They really care about their land. They often have very similar goals to the townies that they would, maybe not see eye to eye with. They're holding up our economy, most of the time. And they're also business people. So they're wanting to improve, and some of them are just operating like an absolute clinic, which is really impressive. And there's all sorts of other things in there, like intergenerational ideas of, I think my father-in-law's farm, he's 6th generation on the farm, until I came along. But, it's like,
oh, that's so good.
You're not having these grandbabies.
But, succession and thinking about setting a farm up so that it can be in the family is on the mind of some farmers as well. So there's all sorts of things going on that are these very human drivers for our farmers,
And how's the switch from OB, which would be hardly any technology,
to
everything is now done through Slack? I'm guessing.
I will not speak badly of Slack on this podcast.
I hate it. It's ruined my life.
Teams is
just
better,
noise. No, just point-to-point communication.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan.
I think the issue with Slack is it doesn't have a clear synchronous asynchronous modality, right? Like for text, there's like, this is not synchronous. Like you text somebody and then they get back to you when they can. Email even more so. But Slack, like it's not clear whether it's I need an answer right now or tomorrow is fine.
That's
but also
a human to human problem. People don't sit down and go, here's how I use it. How are you using it? How do we use it together? Everyone's like, here's how I use it. And I'm shocked when no one else uses it my same way.
I mean, do we want to break down Slack? Because I can analyze exactly what
Do you know what the thing I've actually found the hardest though with so I like, you're right, Outward Bound is like the whole concept is about being the anti-tech. The whole concept is our students, our customers, they would still say ours, they'd give their phone over, they go offline. It's super analog. And even though thanks to your help, we did this huge digital transformation there, and you're trying to kind of modernize the organization. It is still inherently like the anti-tech. The thing I have found the hardest about the transition is my emoji game.
Yeah, Rush I would say Rush's emoji game is next level.
Is it? I mean, it is like I have spent more time like staring at the emoji options, trying to choose which emoji is appropriate for a post.
We actually have.
I should ever admit to anyone, let alone live on a podcast.
We actually have SLAs based on emojis. So like when you post a message in Slack, the 2 eyes,
Okay.
means it's been seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Green check,
all that.
action.
Yeah.
But no one teaches. So there's a code as well about what
Yeah,
the
they do,
emojis mean.
like-
you have to learn by.
There's
And
been
it's
there's a
different between
great,
different millennials. Apparently, like thumbs up if you're a Gen
Oh, that's
X.
like a millennial curse.
Yeah. It's like, this is a fuck you if
Ah.
you send it to
Like,
someone
right,
under
okay,
25.
buddy.
Yeah, like
Good one.
whatever, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
like,
whenever I do like crying laughing, which is my most used one, I'm like, because that's so funny. But my kids don't really text that much. But yeah, for the next generation down, they're like, no, the crying is like crying laughing. And crying laughing is like, I got called Unk. My kids called me Unk.
what does that
I
mean?
mean,
means
Exactly.
old.
yeah.
You're an
I mean,
uncle. You're Unk.
yeah.
Ah.
I mean, I definitely.
I mean, I
Even
know
Gen-
that,
even
so
Gen-
I'm sure the kids aren't using
Gen
it already.
Z isn't the cool generation. My stepson, who's Gen Z, said something the other day, and scucks. And my kids, the oldest of whom is almost 15, just was like, what is that? And just like, ugh.
Yeah.
And Hunter was like, oh my God, I'm now not the cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was never the cool, so that's not a problem.
But then I've started using emojis. So I went from feeling like a boomer and very uncool and like, I don't know what all these emojis mean and am I supposed to use them? And then I've started using them and it's making me feel a bit like a child. Like it's like your communication kind of regresses.
Oh,
It's such an interesting journey.
It's like adding too many exclamation points in an email. Like you've got to know your lines.
Although
and-
there are the sexy ones you've got to be careful of. And there's a great guy who just posts on
Which ones do you
Twitter.
mean, Hamish?
There's
I don't know what you're referring
I
to.
actually
Please
genuinely don't, so
explain.
this is very
Actually,
interesting.
Malindi definitely doesn't.
Yeah.
Sends me eggplants all day.
The peach, the eggplant, and the sweat drops emojis are to be avoided unless you are explicitly clear about when they should be used. And there's a
Noted.
great Twitter. I mean, there isn't anymore because nothing on Twitter is good. Elon ruins everything. But there used to be a great Twitter thread of like boomers misusing the peach and the eggplant emoji, or like misunderstanding messages they'd had from gentlemen who were looking for their attention and being like, "What does this mean?"
Yeah.
So
I mean, I could
yeah,
be guilty of that.
it's not just a possibility of innocent miscommunication.
Yeah. Like if you're in a heat wave, you can't text so hot and then the like water drops. That's
No.
just not what that means.
Also incongruent. You should be texting the flame.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
How come
remember-
there isn't like a climate change emoji? Or where's the emojis that are related to the
it's
things?
the upward chart emoji, Hamish.
Uh-huh.
Upward chart, flame,
Yeah.
snow.
Skeleton.
Yeah, skeleton. Yeah.
Skeleton.
Ship explosion.
You
There you
did
go.
say the first time you were on the podcast that you are famously like a tech abstainer as much as possible.
Mm.
Have you found that you have to be on device just generally more?
Yeah, and I'm a tech abstainer in the sense I'm a tech enthusiast, but I am really disciplined about it, especially around my children. I think that's the main thing is I've got 2 small children, and so I try not to have my device out around them. As if I'm with them, I'm like really present. And I also just like they're imprinting, right? So they're like watching everything I do. And if I'm always got my phone in my hand and looking at it, like, you know, what kind of messages that's sending them. So that's more of where that has come in. It is harder because it's a global company. You've got people all over the world. They're working, you know, there's 6 days a week of people being on.
Yeah.
But I haven't found it too hard. Yeah. But it was definitely an adjustment coming from like Outward Bound is 80 people. It's just the most like wonderful organization, but very, very different to the pace and intensity and sort of like speed of innovation that's happening at Halter.
And is that kind of part of what attracted you in the sense of like, I want to now be part of something new? Part of like a Team New Zealand, but in a company sense, be part of something that's really taking on the world?
Yeah, I mean, I'm there for the mission. I wouldn't have done it. Like I said, I wouldn't have left Outward Bound for probably any other company. So like that at its core is why I'm there. And I think actually is why pretty much everyone is there. It's pretty amazing to be like to have found another company. Like I didn't think I would get that after Outward Bound, where you've just got these people who are like blindly following the mission, where they're just drinking the Kool-Aid. Everybody's pretty aligned on that. But then the kind of added bonuses to that was just working in an environment of people who are striving for excellence all the time, and just like this kind of determination to be excellent and work really, really hard. And I think that really resonated. That was pretty alluring for me. Our farmers work incredibly hard, right? Like farmers are the hardest workers of anyone I know. And so you couldn't actually have a company that is serving farmers that wasn't oriented that way. So yeah, that and then the people that I met through the process of looking were just all so impressive. And you kind of go, man, it would be a pretty cool thing to be able to contribute. Yeah.
But then do you kind of look at a company like Halter and then farmers and go, these are such productive, successful kind of companies or industries, and then you compare it to what you mentioned earlier that we all know, the New Zealand productivity problem. What do you think it's different about Halter that's getting it right? Or what is it about the way that farms operate that's getting it right that other industries or places in New Zealand are kind of not cracking? I mean, if you've spent time, if you've just spent time in great productive organisations, maybe it's harder to see.
I mean, our productivity issue in New Zealand is like hard to pinpoint that to just a cultural thing or like certain organisations. That's pretty systemic, and it comes back to depending on what you believe, but investment in education and technology and research and all of those things that we know contribute to productive economy. I think like culturally at Halter, it does come down to pretty visionary leadership, and that's been really impressive to jump in and see, and how aligned. Like you've just got hundreds of people who kind of are like really in step. They're all in a waka, like they are all paddling, in sync in the same direction. They're kind of eyes on the prize, and like that's no mean feat to achieve that in a culture, and it's also easy to lose. So I think like there is a real intention behind keeping that as we grow. I think like other industries, I spent a very brief, regrettable period in like late stage corporates, and there is something about the lack of energy or innovation that like it's hard to rally troops around doing the same thing over and over. And so like I think it comes back to innovation and product development.
How is it being in a hardware company that is also like moving fast and breaking things and doing all of that stuff? Because it's in the title.
It's hard.
Yeah, and hardware is kind of one of those things, like if you ship a bug in hardware, your world is just completely upside down for like the next year or whatever. And at the numbers you're talking about, like imagine having a hardware problem with 1 million collars.
1 million cows walk off the edge of the flat earth.
And then, that is that
We're talking about flat earth.
We get it. We haven't got there yet, but we'll get there. Don't you worry. There's one thing that's guaranteed. We'll hit a couple of conspiracy theories in every podcast. You've got a lot of multi-dimensional aspects to like manage, right? Like you got to go super fast because that's like the best thing about startups. You got to scale super fast, and you're going to make some mistakes and break some stuff, but not break stuff so badly that you can't keep moving forward. But then hardware is like, check it again, check it twice, pay someone else to check it, pay someone else to check that, test it, set it on fire, like throw it off a cliff edge, drown it, then check it again.
Especially when you're going international, right? Like it's not as restrictive for agricultural equipment, but like the testing you need to do for electronic emissions is different in every country. And they generally won't accept the testing from another country as you go to another country, right? So it's a big problem if you're flying into China right now, because China has a different standard for battery bank testing than anywhere else. And they will take your battery bank off you if it isn't stamped and approved by the Chinese battery bank tester, which nobody bothers to do except the Chinese battery bank manufacturers.
For the domestic market, right?
Yeah, for the domestic market. And that's just one country. And when you're going into multiple countries, each of which is like, no, you've got to do it this way. And you like frequency allocations are different and everything's really difficult.
I mean, it is pretty wild that we put this collar on a cow and you send them out into the elements. And like some of the ranches in the US, like now, because we've released this satellite enabled collar, which goes, we with our earlier collars, they would go to a tower and like talk to a tail. You would have talked about this with Brad when he came on. And that will still be the case for dairy farmers where you've got, more flat, easy topography. But some of these ranches in the US are like expansive. Like one paddock is the size of like a station in New Zealand. Hundreds of thousands of acres. And having satellite collars means that the cattle can just go for miles and you can see where they are and you can do rotational grazing at like this huge scale, which has been impossible for a lot of these ranches. And when you think about it, it's like kind of a mad product to be able to produce, to go and like get out in the weather and like last for years on this animal, and all of the bumping and rubbing up against trees or fences, or probably no fences. But it is pretty amazing, and it is really hard. And I do think that is part of that overnight success piece of like, it's actually taken a really long time to get to a point where that's super viable. And that's why we I think have a great moat, and it makes competition interesting because it's such a complex product to have both the firmware, the software, and the hardware, and then be also completely customer obsessed, which we are. So I think it's like in the name.
Yeah, I think I was as you were talking about China and stuff and different, and I was thinking, do people come to Halter and say, "Can you do it for another species?" And has anyone ever tried to copy it?
Yeah, there is some competition out there doing parts of what we do. So there's some doing just the kind of like health data with a collar, and then there are others that might do like GPS tracking. No one is doing exactly what we're doing, but that will come for sure, and that would be good for farmers, but it'll also probably be good for us to keep us innovating faster and working harder. There are a lot of cattle in the world, and we are going to be very busy with cattle.
No need to expand just
I did
yet.
think of a conspiracy theory. Have you seen the movie Us?
Yes.
So one day you're going to wake up and there'll just be a line right round the earth of cows. You're just waiting until you've hit critical mass, and then you're just going to form a fence made out of cows and slowly push all the people off the land
That
until
is
it's
so
just
creepy.
cows.
Who's going to do it?
You guys.
So it's just cows and Halter staff.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be all bad.
Or maybe it's at the point that the Boston robotics dogs become sentient and they take over.
Is it actually a secret anti-AI play where you're predicting in 10 years there's going to be the robots versus cows war?
I can't talk about it on this podcast.
I literally, for the first time, have nothing to add to that. Crazy. We've sent him off the ledge.
It's a pretty compelling idea, actually. No, thank you.
What do you reckon the Wikipedia page will say in 100 years?
For Halter or for humans?
For Halter.
I can tell you exactly what it will say. We will only ask you this 3 more times this week. Please give $2.
Hey, man. Lay off Jimmy. He's just trying to do a thing, all right? He gave the world AI.
I would like to think that, I mean, when we first started putting like cups on cows when we milked them, like that would have seemed crazy. Like that technology where you think you like hand milked a cow, and humans have done that for a very, very, very long time. And then someone was like, I know, I could like design this tube to do this for me. And now, like when that first happened, that would have seemed like such a crazy thing to do. And now you couldn't imagine milking without it. So I do think that it is the future of farming, and we'll see it change, and the product will get better, and our data is going to be incredible. You know, we've got this incredible data set now of the million cows that we currently work with. That's going to be 2 million in November. It'll be a whole lot more next year. And you start to be able to learn a whole lot more about how to work better with these animals. And I just think we'll look back, and that virtual fencing would just be like a no-brainer. Virtual herding and actually like using technology to work better with animals in agriculture more generally would just seem really obvious. Yeah.
Are there any kind of complementary or in-complementary companies, I mean.
Is that a word?
What?
In complementary?
Swear to God, my brain with words is going. We kept talking about electrification last week, and I was like, is that the wrong word? And it only came to me this week that electrocution.
A complimentary?
A complimentary? Yes.
Yeah.
Well done, Hamish.
Got there eventually.
What's the question?
And cut.
You know, there must be really wonderful relationships with either Agritech or, you know, the Fonterras of the world, how you band together and go, we're all kind of on a mission for an industry. But then there's like the post manufacturers going, God damn, all my posts are number 8 wire that I used to sell every year. Have you ever had any angry, like, number 8 wire?
Surely someone's making a smart post.
I mean, I actually don't know the answer to that. I'm sure that someone is, like, I think that is the thing with the disruptive technology, right?
Number 8 wire is ingrained in New Zealand psyche,
Yeah.
and part of the interesting technology is you
It's
guys have done away with the need for
This
it.
guy's a number 8 wireless.
Ooh.
Oh, you like that?
Oh, I do like that. I do like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll find that
I
out.
actually had this amazing day on a ranch in Texas called Richard's Ranch, and they had the 8th generation. The little kid, he was a baby, but he's the 8th generation of this family of this ranching family, and we went out and spent the day reeling up fences. So they had Halter for a couple of years. It had been amazing for them. There was the dad and the son, who was the, I guess, grandfather and father of the little one, and they were doing the ranching together, and it was just this like pretty amazing day where we went out and we just like reeled up like miles and miles of fence line, and the grandfather had put that all out, and it had been like quite innovative. Like he'd been quite an innovative rancher, 50 years ago when he went out and like put all that out to start rotationally grazing, which seems for Kiwis we're such precision farmers here.
Just for clarity, when you say rotation, it's like you're this paddock, then you move them to that paddock while that one grows, and
it enables you to produce more grass, which means that you can either have more animals or your animals are more productive in other ways. So it's a productivity play.
Cows will only graze on longer grass too, right? Like there's got to be a minimum length of the grass for them to consider eating it. Is that right? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. I remember like
it's a niche. That's a niche fact.
From
Hamish is full of them.
What do you call it when you try and make a farm block self-sustainable? There's like a permaculture. From a permaculture book, they were saying you should mix cows and sheep because the cows will eat the long grass and then the sheep will eat the short grass, and that maximizes your grass usage. But it was from a permaculture book, so
different kinds of cows like different types of grass.
Yeah, for sure. And cows have adapted in different ways to different climates too. So we are looking at we're going into South America in the next few months. We'll be, like I said, I'm hiring in Argentina and Uruguay at the moment. Their farming systems are more similar to New Zealand, but Brazil, for example, would have a lot more of the Brahman cattle, which are like the big necks, and they've got thinner skin, and they're sort of more adapted to tropical climates. And so, cows are different in all places.
In the US, I mean, I'm not meaning to dump on the ranchers, right? They're done pretty hard by some of the structures over there. There's a really good More Perfect Union video that came out recently about the meat processing monopoly. That's basically the beef prices are insane in America at the moment. Everyone complains about them, and they're all complaining at the farmers, but it's not the farmers who are setting the prices. They're getting less for their beef than they ever used to. It's the meat and middlemen who are taking the largest cut. But there is also tension because they often like graze in national parks and in public land, and they're not very receptive to being constrained from using the commons for beef raising. So this should help with, like that.
100%. Yeah. I mean, that one of the ranchers I sat with, Bryce, in Colorado, he was just so excited about Halter for his ranch and like what it was going to do for him. But it was actually, his excitement was more for the industry and what it was going to do for the industry, being able to ranch like they used to and get up into the open ranges, because they'll push their cattle up into the ranges in the summertime where the snow melts in the ranges and it's like pretty dry and dusty down in the valleys. So yeah, it's quite interesting to see how it's like, it's so adaptable to different places. And like ranching is just so cool. I actually bought a horse. I like went over there.
What?
when I first started at Halter.
Sell out.
Actually, Dunno's
Can't buy a horse on Outward Bound money.
It's technically half my horse.
It's technically half
Half a
Dunno's.
horse.
I don't buy a horse.
I have I've just
Did you
have
say
to-
no to her? Like, have you ever
You can't
tried
say
saying no to
you can't say no
her?
to me.
Just ask him for his company. He'll give it to you.
Tammy thought she was asking to buy horse, not a horse.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
so
He
we
went
bought
to-
a horse when I went up there, and I was like, I just been on this ranch, and then I went horse riding in the Rockies with one of my colleagues up there, in the Western Saddles, and it was like snow on the ground, and I was like, I think this is the new me, I think this could be me. And
From
then, yeah.
cycling to horse
So
riding.
then Dunno and I came back and we bought a horse.
That's quite, what's her
Still
name?
gonna send you
Is
the
it a
bill.
her?
It's actually a he, Zeus.
I haven't met Zeus yet.
Yeah.
Have you got a photo? We're going to put it right here.
Yeah.
In front of my
I do.
face.
could.
And an invoice.
So, okay. So Waymo,
You know I'm never paying for that horse, right?
I
Waymo
agree.
collar for horses, you could. If you don't know how to ride, as you're getting used to it, you could get a little collar.
Horses are a
Bing,
lot
bing, bing.
more
Less domesticated.
stroppy than cows.
Mm.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah,
oft,
but you
like-
might not
Why
have
do
to
you
go
know
through
this
the,
shit?
He knows everything. You
Did
might
you grow
not
up on
have
a
to go
farm?
through the horrible process of
Uh,
breaking a horse
kind
in.
of.
Kind of.
Interesting.
Elaborate.
So I've
I thought
often
you were a
grown up
humanoid sent
in
from space.
rural environments. My parents never owned a farm, but my uncle had a dairy farm. It's one of the reasons I did not become a dairy farmer is because my father would look after the farm while my uncle was on holiday sometimes. And I was pretty young, and my memories of those times are him getting up really early and then coming back covered in shit. And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't think this is a good job.
Yeah.
This is not
It's
something I want to
hard
do.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then, like when I was, when I was a kid, we lived in England, and we lived on the manor house. They'd split it into rentals. We lived in a portion of the manor house that had its own farm blocks, and so we've always lived in rural areas, but we've not been farmers.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a good thing for every Kiwi to at least experience a farm stay.
Yeah.
I grew up, my grandparents owned a farm too, and just farm life gets into your blood and gives you an appreciation for the way that the country has sustained itself.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
for me, it's like I definitely have the appreciation, but it's also been like I am not
Oh,
a
yeah.
rural kid.
That's a pretty
Computers and dirt, not best friends.
Too cliche. You can actually get these life size, they're like veterinary training cows. So they're like perfect life size, and you can like open them up and see the baby inside and like see how the baby gets born. It's actually the baby calf. They're actually pretty cool. I'm gonna get one for
You
our
get one of
office.
those Damien Hirst
Yeah,
half
yeah.
cows.
Is it Damien Hirst? I thought it was another guy.
No, it's Damien Hirst. Because he also did the half shark.
Ah.
And now
Is,
he's
is
got
that the
a
same
trailer.
guy who did the bodies exhibits, or is that a different guy?
Different guy. Art.
Art.
It's like art to me.
Art.
Don't you
Those
air
are-
quote me, Mr. Shark Fin Glove. We're going to wrap up in a second because our studio is going to be taken over. Have you noticed in your time at Halter so far the changing attitudes towards the farming industry because Agritech is getting such a glow on it now? Do you think there's still a bit of perception that needs to move in the public eye?
I definitely think there's still perception that needs to move. It would be hard for me to answer that objectively because I think I've kind of gone into this world where everybody's so frothy about agriculture. What I think is really cool in that is like in the organization, you've got the people who come from an ag background, and then you've got the people who definitely don't come from an ag background. And then you've got probably like me, ag adjacent, who have like grown up on a lifestyle block or ridden horses or married a dairy farmer but didn't grow up farming. And you need all three to like make this company work really well and probably in quite a good balance. So I think it's like pretty cool for agriculture that we've got all these talented people. Like we're sort of pulling in some of the most incredible people in our country into working at Halter, and they're working in ag, like in agriculture, like that, like serving farmers. I think that's a pretty cool thing for New Zealand agriculture. Yeah.
So if we have you back, no, you're about to
Follow-up
do
question.
your thought and I'll finish my thought.
Decent wrap-up follow-up question. One thing that non-profits could learn from startups and vis-a-vis vice versa. I use vis-a-vis incorrectly there. I know. Hamish, shut up. Go.
I think that, the charity that I worked in at Outward Bound was like amazing at first principles thinking. So really breaking down problems to their core truth. And I think charities, my assumption is that charities broadly are solving really hard problems, because if they weren't hard to solve, private sector would have solved them, or the government would have solved them. So I think charities are really solving some hard problems and learning to think about things in quite complex and system-oriented ways. And vice versa. I mean, I think there's a the word I want to use is ruthlessness, but it's not that. But I just think that there's a pace and an intensity to working in a startup that charities could learn from as well. But like I said, they are more similar than you would think at first glance.
That was really good. That's nice. I don't think I want to add anything. Well, I am though, because I like to get the last word. We had you on a year ago. If we have you back again in another year, where do you hope that you and your team are?
Space cows.
Yeah. Space cows.
Vertical dairy farms. It was vertical plant farms for a long time. I want to see those cows stacked up.
Vertical, yeah. We could graze the treetops,
The cows have agency. They'll only go to space if they want to.
Well, obviously the cows produce heat, which contributes to climate change. So putting them in space is the obvious answer, because
you could
that's
also
what we did with
extend the atmosphere by just moving all of their emissions further out.
Correct. Sorry. Off track.
Genuinely though.
It's good.
Back in
Gives
track.
me a minute to think about it.
Yeah.
I'm building the customer org, and that is the team that looks after our farmers and ranchers from the minute they're signed up. So they've signed up, they've signed their contract, and then my team looks after them for the rest of their journey. And I really hope that team stays super connected to our customer as we grow. That's the goal, is to kind of maintain this customer obsession, be looking our farmers and ranchers in the eyes as we grow, because we're going to go from having a whole lot of customers who are mostly pretty new with us to more and more customers who are lifelong partners, hopefully. And so how we actually walk alongside them and work with them will probably be the sort of make or break of our long-term success. So yeah, I think my team will be huge in a year's time, I expect. And hopefully we wherever you talk to one of the customer people in the world, they're pretty obsessed with farmers and ranchers wherever they are.
That's an awesome mission. We are 100% getting you back on.
Chicken.
Our forever guest number one and friend of the show.
Prime guest.
Prime guest.
Prime time.
I feel like it could be number 53, or maybe that was yesterday. If it's not, I'll let you know. But Malindi, thank you.
Thanks, team.